Good morning. This morning I am going to be making a leftover breakfast hash. So one thing that I love to do is search through my refrigerator and figure out the things that I've prepared for the week that would go great with breakfast. So this week I have a little bit of taco seasoned sweet potatoes, some spinach, and some sausage. So it's a very easy recipe and it's a great way to help dig out the extras from your fridge and make sure that you're using all of your food, as well as a great way to use your ingredients in multiple recipes. So my pan is already preheated. So I'm going to put into my coconut oil here, put about a teaspoon of coconut oil. This pan is non-stick, but I still do the coconut oil because it does help kind of crisp up some of the edges and it really helps the spinach. Now I do use the portion containers just for easy reference. If you don't have them or don't want them, per person I usually do a half a cup of whatever the starch is. So half a cup into there, scooped. Just get those starting to cook up a little bit. Now when it comes to spinach, I have found that it's really a lot easier if you cut it up a little bit, having full spinach leaves in a whole meal. That's going to be for one that's, and they become really, bulky and thick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while they start frying up a little bit. Now again, I'm making for one, multiples. If you're cooking for someone who has more of a caloric need, you can always use more, 2 servings or whatever the need may be. My spinach here. I'm going to give it just a nice, good handful. And so I just pile it up into one pile, and I just slice it into about 1/2 inch thick strips. It doesn't need to be piled up evenly, but this just helps chop it up a little bit so it's a little less cumbersome and gets more evenly distributed through the breakfast. Let's get these pushed up a little bit. Let those cook down a little bit. I'm also going to add about 1/2 serving of the sausage here. This isn't a science. I always make up sausage for every day because I have breakfast burritos on the days that I go to work. And so I always have some in the fridge. So I just, and about as much as I would put into my breakfast burrito. Maybe just a slight more because this one's not. So other things that I make this with, pretty much anything that I can figure out in my fridge. So I've made it with fried rice before. I've made it with, I love making it with stuffing or dressing at the holiday time. So we have our turkey and our dressing, and then for the next week I have dressing hash. And there we go. And now we're going to we have it piled evenly, or piled together. And then we're going to neatly, as well as we can, break 2 eggs on top. That one slid to the side. It happens. Okay, now we reduce the heat just about to low and then cover it. Okay. We're almost there. We want it to be done, not runny anymore, but we don't want to have the eggs firmed up. So we're almost there. I'm actually going to add just a little bit of salt for flavor, and then a little bit of pepper. And about the time it takes to clean up, I should be able to serve. All right, so that is good enough for me. I like them to be a little bit sunny side up style. Yeah, with this great pan, everything just slides off. You can usually keep the eggs intact. All right, here we go. And then I add, personally, I like a little bit of spice. So I always add a little bit of tapatio. A little spread of avocado. I'm using 1/4 of a large avocado. When I have a smaller one, I just use a whole half. And there we are. Easy leftover breakfast hash.